Oh, I've been lucky enough to see this film. You're in for such a treat. Please give a huge welcome to our guests this evening. Mark Ruffalo, Keira Knightley, and James Corden. I love your dress, just as an off comment. Congratulations, first of all, on this film. I saw it the day after I got back from Glastonbury, and it completely sorted me out. It was just amazing. So much about it, and you all look so natural in that environment, around music, in music, singing it. Did it feel natural?
No, it didn't feel natural at all. Yeah, exactly. It's the acting part of it, but I'm glad it looked natural. That's really good.
I mean, was that the part of the attraction for you all for the film? Was the musical element to it, that world?
Well, yeah, because I'd seen once, and I really liked what John did at the musical part of movie making, and so I thought it was going to be an interesting ride, because I was kind of a musician at one part of my life, and so
I could tell you played bass before.
Thank you.
Yeah. James?
For me, it was genuinely just the opportunity to be in a film with people like Mark and Kiera, and directed by John, and shooting in New York. I never really thought past that, really. I didn't think whether it would be good or bad. I just thought, well, this is going to be an amazing experience for me, and I really did enjoy every single second of it. Like, just shooting in New York for me was thrilling enough. Like, it was great. Yeah.
The thing that I took so much away from watching the film, in terms of you relate to a lot of the characters in different situations, whether it's there's like the game that you make up in this kind of reverse musical statues and things like that, and you see yourself in so many situations. We're going to watch a clip right now with you guys when you sort of first meet for the first time, and I think everyone's kind of had that experience where someone's kind of come up to them and you're like, yeah, whatever. Whether it be a girl and a guy, two guys, whatever and stuff, and whatever the intention is. But that's another thing about the film, is it feels so relatable.
Yeah, I think everyone either has been at some point these characters, or you know somebody and love somebody like this. You know, I think it's very much a film about people who have fallen down, who think that they know where they're going, and all of a sudden the rug's taken out from under them and they have no idea, and how exactly you pick yourself back up. And I think any adult has been through that in one way or another, so it's impossible not to kind of watch it and go, yes, I recognise that.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to look at this clip right now, which is when Dan and Greta meet for the first time. Go on.
Something tells me that's not the end of those two.
Really?
That's actually the end of the film.
I hope not. Yeah, that was
That's the last scene of the film.
It's a short film.
It's amazing.
That's another thing I like about this, is the ending, which I'm not going to say anything about.
You won't see the ending coming.
Yeah.
That makes it sound like something explodes. I don't
No
mean it
one
like that.
dies.
No one dies, nothing explodes. It's just, it's not the normal ending for a romantic comedy, if this is a romantic comedy.
I think that's the best thing about the film is, I think in so many ways, from the second it starts, you think, oh, well, I know exactly where this film's going. It's so clear what the path of all these characters are, and it couldn't be more different to that. And I think that's a real credit to John, really, that he's made, I think, like a deconstructed romantic comedy. Really, in one sense, it should feel like a very mainstream film, and then the next breath, and in many ways it is, and then the next breath, it feels like a very small independent movie where the story sort of fluctuates as to where it's going and things like that, and I think that makes it a lot more interesting to watch.
And it's also that idea that, I mean, you said, is it a romantic comedy? Is it a musical? The music's not narratively important, but it's emotionally important, which is kind of nice as well. So the music's not kind of taking you out in their story, but it's definitely giving you a bit of an insight into their feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, they're people who express themselves emotionally through music, so it's obviously a really important part, but it's not that musical in a way where suddenly you're speaking and suddenly you're singing at each other, you know, it's not that. Yeah.
I loved hearing you talk about when you did some vocal training, and you kind of were hoping it was going to be a bit like Adele.
Yeah.
You know, you're kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't we all? You're like, now I know she's in there somewhere. She's just bursting to get out.
But you've got a great voice.
Thank you.
When did you know about this?
I don't know.
Oh, come on!
No,
Come on!
it was like one of those terrifying things because the songs weren't written until, or the lyrics weren't written until about 2 days before we went into the studio. So it wasn't like we had any time to kind of go, oh, how do we want her to sound, or what's this going to be? You know, it was more like, okay, just go. So I just got into the studio and had a rather stressful 4 days of going, oh, it sounds terrible, and how are we going to do this? And then trying to figure it out.
Did you have to sing for John though? I mean, because it's such an important part for the character and the
No,
role.
I'd sung in a film called The Edge of Love, which I did about 7 years ago, and he'd seen that in a really, really different style, like it's very sort of theatrical 40s, but he'd seen that and sort of gone, oh yeah, you'll be fine. And I found this with musicians, like they can't really understand people that can't naturally just do it. Like every single musician that I spoke to about this just went, oh yeah, don't worry about it, it'll be fine. Like, yeah, for you it's fine, because that's what you do. But yes, but they were right, it was fine. So there you go.
And also in terms of the voice that you have, your singing voice, so suits the character and the role and stuff, where you could have sounded like a kind of West End kind of Hello Dolly.
I would have liked to also sound like a West End Dolly, but I don't have that kind of voice.
But that was lucky.
No, it was lucky, but it was also, I mean, I think again, I'm not a singer, so we did have to just kind of go, okay, I can only sort of come at this from a character point of view, and how does this make sense? Because the character isn't somebody who likes to perform. She doesn't like to be in front of people. She doesn't like to be the centre of attention. So we sort of thought, okay, how can we sort of make that clear in the voice?
Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy that side of it?
I was there when
Yeah.
she was recording, and
I wasn't the nicest person to be around.
no, she was so nervous, and then she started, and nobody knew that she was going to be able to sing as well as she did.
So, like the tension in that studio, everyone
Was
just watching,
thick.
it was an awful environment
Like
to try and
baseball
do anything
bat thick.
in. Yeah.
And
Wow.
and so she started to sing, and everyone looked at each other. Oh my God, she could sing.
Only I was in a sound booth, so all I see is people looking at each other, and they didn't look happy.
Right.
So I'm just like,
We just wanted to trick you to keep
yeah.
trying hard.
Thanks, you did.
Yes.
Thank you.
And all you could hear her going was like, "This sucks. This is terrible. I hate it."
Also, what I didn't understand was nobody offered me a drink. Like, you hear about musicians
Honey,
and music
wasn't fair.
studios.
and all that
No,
stuff.
I mean, like, you know, and
It
it was
wasn't
also
fair.
no,
It
was,
wasn't
and we
fair.
did it in Electric Ladyland Studios, which is this mythic studios where, isn't it, Jimi
Hendrix.
Hendrix performs? So you think, you know, there's going to be something around that's going to chill me out. I
Yeah,
think
you
I
could
got-
lick the wall and
Yeah,
get high.
well,
on that.
exactly. I should have tried that.
Yes, you should.
There's amazing kind of difference in tone with the relationships on screen as well. You know, whether it's you and James's character, which is they're great moments in the film as well. I mean, there's a genuine chemistry between you guys. Did you get drunk in that scene? Or you fake getting drunk together really well.
Well,
Was that
there
tea?
I don't know if I got anybody in trouble when we did. We just came back from New York and did a junkie there, and I mentioned that we'd been shooting on the subway one night, and I was in a play in New York at the time, so I would often shoot in the afternoon, go across town, do the play, and then get straight in a car after, like I'd literally bow and get changed in the wings and get back in the car and go. And one night we were shooting on the subway, and Mark was drinking a coffee in the Starbucks thing, and he said to me, "God, you must be really tired after shooting and doing the show." And I said, "Yeah, I am a bit." And he said, "You must really need a drink." And I said, "Yeah." And he passed me this coffee, and I drank it, and it was a vodka tonic. and then I realised, I've subsequently realised that this is all down to Kiera, and Kiera was fueling. I should say these were all there's a lot of montage in the film where we essentially have to do a lot of miming instruments. We just do a lot of this. So it's sort of acceptable.
You
to
can't
have
do that sober.
No,
You shouldn't
it's true.
do that sober.
Yeah, but in relation to what you said, like it was. I don't really know how it happened that Keira and I had sort of something. It was so joyous to be part of. We really just hit it off immediately, and it didn't feel like it was any work at all to find this relationship between the two of them. It was like one of the nicest sort of relationships I've had with someone on screen. Really, it felt so natural. It was really great.
It did feel like watching mates from who've been mates for years. That's kind of what So well done.
That's what it felt like. So that's good.
And also, you know, you and Mark as well, amazing chemistry. And then you and Catherine, we're going to see this little scene where you rock up at your. She's not your ex, she's your wife, but you're separated. You rock up for a shower, and it's just a brilliant little scene. So we'll talk about this after we've seen it. The timing on that is brilliant. Yeah, amazing. How much was improv? Was that all written down? Was that kind of?
There was some. We played around a bit with that stuff. We were there and doing the lines, but every once in a while we'd add a little something here and there.
I mean, John had actually said to me, the director, 5 days before we started, actually we're throwing the script away and we're improvising the whole lot, which completely freaked me out because the script was wonderful. So I was like, why are you doing? But actually, I think we stuck to a lot. Like we stuck to most of it and then just kind of played around sort of within it.
That's funny because then I started improvising a lot, and he said, "We're sticking to the script."
Yeah.
I don't know.
You had
what
to
that
really
was.
judge him on his mood as to how much you could riff around it. Because
Yeah.
I can remember one time he said to Keira and I, like, just go, whatever you think, whatever you want. So we just sort of did this long, ambling improv, and then he came back in and went, guys, you can do any of the lines? And we're like, you really can't win.
No.
So essentially you would do the scene and then carry on. That was how we tended to do our scenes. We would do the scene, and then if he didn't say cut, we'd just carry on talking. And so I think that's when he'd be most happy.
Was New York kind to you as a location?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I think that the film is very much like a love song to New York. It's like it's a holiday in New York, you know, and it was amazing being there and just being in the streets. You know, it's such an extraordinary city. The energy of it is like nowhere else, and so I think it was really important for all of us that we were out and about as much as possible and actually trying to capture it. But we didn't have permission for a lot of kind of locations, and obviously it's a very low budget film, so it was just a matter of sort of getting in the back of a van and jumping out and trying to capture something before anyone noticed, and then jumping back in again. So
That's awesome.
There's a big chunk of the film which is one of my favourite bits of the movie, which I'm not in, which is rare for me to say. There's a scene with Mark and Kiera, and they basically go on a long walk around New York, listening to music on a sort of joint headphone thing. And I didn't know at the time. I hadn't seen it. And when I saw the film, and John told me that they just shot. Was it like 3 a.m. in Times Square with no permits and literally a camera and the two
And
of them,
Keira
and that was
Knightley.
it. Yeah.
With about 10,000 tourists,
Yeah.
and they didn't even notice us.
Amazing.
It was amazing. We did
no,
2
apart
takes.
from he did actually say like
Someone did.
No, there was
That's
like
Keira Knightley!
I think it was Mark Ruffalo actually. But no, I think like he said that he'd used just the amount that he could use before suddenly people started going, wait a minute, what's that?
Yeah.
There were none of those problems with my bits in the film.
We got our last clip I want to show because there's obviously musicians in the film. I mean, Adam Levine's beard should have its own credit. We won't talk about that because it'll spoil it. But we will talk about CeeLo Green, who is brilliant in this scene. I've been lucky enough to interview CeeLo Green. That's just what he's like in real life.
Yep.
Was that just you walking into his house on a normal day and just kind of
Pretty
riffing?
much. he just talk about improvising.
Yeah.
He
just goes
everything
for
was
it.
improvised.
Yeah, he was absolutely amazing. He's
Yeah,
so cool.
I
He's up for
shot
it.
one day with CeeLo, and he has a man with him at all times. Do you remember this guy? He had a guy, right, who just stands on his right shoulder. He's got a fro with a comb in it and a toothpick, and he's just got 2 phones, right? And hold the mic here 1 minute. Just hold it. Hold this one. So and he just does this all day, 2 phones. And then every now and then he'll lift one up to CeeLo and go, and CeeLo will look at it and go, and he'll go, like that, and carry on. And when we were shooting, he'd never really shot a film before. He'd shot like TV things, whatever. So there's a scene with me and CeeLo which isn't in the film. No, it's fine, we're good. And we're here like this, and we're shooting the scene. The camera's here, and they go, "Okay, that was great, brilliant." And CeeLo goes, "Okay, man, thanks so much, it's great." And I just went, "Oh no, I think they're gonna. I don't think we're done. I think they'll probably bring the camera around here." And he goes, "What?" And I said, "They need to cover the scene." He goes, "All right, okay. All right, how long is it going to be?" And I said, "I don't know, like an hour maybe." He went, "An hour? This is bullshit." Right? And I said, "I really think an hour tops." And his mate, who I'd never spoken to with the toothpick, had never said anything, he went, "How do you know that?" And I just went, oh, I just feel it. And he went, where'd you feel it? Right? So as a joke, just to amuse myself, and I don't know why I did it, I just went, I feel it in my plums, right? And he laughed so loud, he laughed like I can only describe like a cutaway of someone at like a Chris Rock concert. He was like, actually, he laughed, he was just going, ah, ah, and he would say it again, say it again. So I just went, in my plums. And she went, oh my God. And then like someone from the crew came over and went, oh, what's so funny? And I was like, oh, it's nothing, honestly. And he's going, no, go on, say it again, say it again. And I just became the plums guy. That when I said goodbye to CeeLo Green, he just went, say it one more time. And I just went, oh, in my plums. And he went, yeah, man, that shit's hilarious.
Sounds like this film was a lot of fun to work on. We got about 5 minutes for you guys' questions, so if you've got any questions, then please, lady in the middle, you were first with your hand up. What's your question? Wait till we get a microphone to you, please. Thank you. Here we go. Right. Hi.
Hi. First of all, thanks. You've been absolutely great. Kiera said earlier that your characters all express yourselves through music in the movie, and I was thinking back to other movies you've guys done in the past. What characters would be fun to kind of see expressing themselves through music?
Your previous characters that would be good to express themselves through music. I mean, feel free.
Aren't you working on Atonement the musical?
Yeah, I was going to say, I was trying to figure how that would work. Yeah, Atonement, that would be a laugh, wouldn't it?
And Esther Williams kind of.
Anna Karenina could be even better, yeah.
Yeah, the water scene with like.
Lots of Esther Williams.
Lots of Esther Williams,
that would
yeah,
be great.
that'd be good.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Next question. Did you have your hand up? Yep. Lady here, please. Great. Thank you.
Hi, what was your favourite location for filming in New York? Because obviously it was slightly different for you guys with this.
What do you reckon?
Probably Washington Square, I'd say.
Washington Square Park, yeah.
Yes, that was
that
pretty
was great.
fun.
And being in Central Park, like there is a scene
The
where
boat.
we've got a splitter and we're listening to music.
Oh, that's
And we were
brilliant.
in Central Park
At night.
That
It's
was
gorgeous.
amazing.
Yeah,
That was really
beautiful.
good.
Were you listening to the tunes that are in the film whilst you were doing that?
We
Yeah.
were. The only one that they couldn't get in was it Shaka Khan?
Yes.
We had a whole
Shaka.
we had a
yeah.
whole Shaka Khan moment that we couldn't
They couldn't afford.
use.
Oh man,
Yeah,
can't
that
afford
was
Shaka
good.
Khan.
But she was
Ooh.
there in spirit.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. There's the extras when she says yes, have it. Next, please. Two ladies in the front. We get two double questions here.
Hi, this question's more for James. Obviously, during film, when you were doing One Man, Two Governors on Broadway as well, did you have any moments where you were figuring that you were going to mix up your lines between from the short and the film?
No, one day he tried to do the trunk bit.
No, I mean, no. People kept saying to me all the time, "Oh, you must be really tired." And actually,
I said that to him.
But
I said that
actually,
to him.
I genuinely have never felt more sort of exhilarated, because when you're in a play like that and you're coming into show like 450 or whatever, you're just aching for something else to do creatively, you know. And so for me, I genuinely, it sounds like such a sort of silly thing to say, but I would sort of pinch myself quite a lot of the time to just be doing a play on Broadway and then to be shooting a film with people like this in company like that. I would quite often think I'm from High Wycombe and this shouldn't, you know, I loved it every second really. Yeah, but I never really got the lines mixed up.
And lady next to you, please.
Hi, this is for... Oh, that's loud. This is for Kiera. I loved doing the Misanthrope and Children's Hour. Would you ever do a musical on stage?
No.
No? You're really good!
Come on.
It's too terrifying.
What about this?
What?
We'll do this
What,
movie
do this? No,
on stage.
no,
It'd be
never.
fun.
No.
It'd be great.
No,
You could
no.
lip
I think you
sync.
should totally do a musical.
You're releasing. Surely you're supposed to release an
think so?
album
Yeah.
because the soundtrack's been released.
Oh, so actually I've officially got an album?
You've got an album.
Great.
Can you
It's
go,
out there.
go on tour?
Go on tour.
You're going to be at the Academy Awards.
Yeah,
You're going to have to
Here's
sing.
the question,
here's the question.
They
Here's
did this to me in New York. They're basically, they
This is
know
a
that
great
this is my
question.
idea of hell, right?
the question.
So they're just watching me as I shrink in my seat.
If, say, Lost Stars was nominated for Best Song, which is
Yeah.
Best Original Song, which
Pretty
is
likely.
could happen.
Yeah.
We'd all love to see Kiera singing at the
Would we?
Academy Awards.
Yes.
Would you do
heard it
it?
here first, guys. She said yes. It's happening.
That's amazing.
Book your tickets now. She's singing it with Adam Levine,
That would be
with
amazing.
Mark on bass,
Yeah, and you on
and me on kazoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, please. That would be amazing.
Great.
Do you want to pass the mic along to the gentleman in the front row?
Hi there. First of all, just say it's got a fantastic feel, this film. Really looking forward to seeing it. Just wondered, you've all been in lots of different types of genres of films. Just wondered sort of what your favourite is, and also if there's a particular genre that you haven't done that you'd like to do in the future.
That's a good one. I think we probably all feel that we've been tremendously lucky in being able to do sort of lots of different things, and I think that's sort of the aim. You know, it's wonderful to do something that's a huge blockbuster that's kind of with explosions and green screen and all this kind of technology, and that can be very exciting. But equally, sort of going back and doing something like this where it's a very low budget, so it's very much hit the ground running. You can't think, you just have to go, which for me, you know, it means that there's no waiting around. It's like constant work, which I really like, you know, but I think it is all about mixing it up. As far as what I'd like, I love sci-fis, so I'd love to do, yeah, but I want to do a sci-fi that's like really dark. You know, if you actually read like sci-fi literature is really dark. It's like, it's insanely kind of bleak, and they never kind of capture that, probably because it wouldn't be nobody would like it, but you know, I think there's something in it.
Dark sci-fi.
I'm looking for that for you.
Okay, right, my last question then.
Okay.
When's the film out? All these people want to see it. What's the release date in the UK?
It's out on the 11th.
Thanks.
That's right?
Yes.
11th.
Here we go.
It's out on the 11th of July.
Who's in it, James?
It stars
Adam Levine.
Adam Levine, Kiera, Mos Def, and me. Everyone else is quite shit in it.
It's true. Go see it. It's absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, James, Mark, and Kiera. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank
Cheers.
you for coming. Thank you so much.
Oh, I've been lucky enough to see this film. You're in for such a treat. Please give a huge welcome to our guests this evening. Mark Ruffalo, Keira Knightley, and James Corden. I love your dress, just as an off comment. Congratulations, first of all, on this film. I saw it the day after I got back from Glastonbury, and it completely sorted me out. It was just amazing. So much about it, and you all look so natural in that environment, around music, in music, singing it. Did it feel natural? Go on.
Something tells me that's not the end of those two.
Really?
That's actually the end of the film.
Hope not. Yeah, that was
That's
it.
the last scene of the film.
It's a short film.
It's amazing.
That's another thing I like about this, is the ending, which I'm not going to say anything about.
You won't see the ending coming.
Yeah.
That makes it sound like something explodes. I don't
No
mean it
one
like that.
dies.
No one dies, nothing explodes. It's just, it's not the normal ending for a romantic comedy, if this is a romantic comedy.
I think that's the best thing about the film is, I think in so many ways from the second it starts, you think, oh, well, I know exactly where this film's going. It's so clear what the path of all these characters are, and with people like Mark and Kiera, and directed by John, and shooting in New York, I never really thought past that, really. I didn't think whether it would be good or bad. I just thought, well, this is going to be an amazing experience for me, and I really did enjoy every single second of it. Like, just shooting in New York for me was thrilling enough. Like, it was great. Yeah.
The thing that I took so much away from watching the film, in terms of you relate to a lot of the characters in different situations, whether it's there's like the game that you make up in this kind of reverse musical statues and things like that, and you see yourself in so many situations. We're going to watch a clip right now with you guys when you sort of first meet for the first time, and it's
No, it didn't feel natural
why
at
you're a great
all.
actress.
Yeah, exactly. It's the acting part of it, but I'm glad it looked natural. That's really good.
I mean, was that the part of the attraction for you all for the film? Was the musical element to it, that world?
Yeah, because I'd seen once, and I really liked what John did with the musical part of movie making, and so I thought it was going to be an interesting ride, because I was kind of a musician at one part of my life, and so
I could tell you played bass before.
Thank you.
Yeah. James?
For me, it was genuinely just the opportunity to be in a film.
I think everyone's kind of had that experience where someone's kind of come up to them and you're like, yeah, whatever. Whether it be a girl and a guy, two guys, whatever and stuff, and whatever the intention is. But that's another thing about the film is it feels so relatable.
Yeah, I think everyone either has been at some point these characters, or you know somebody and love somebody like this. You know, I think it's very much a film about people who have fallen down, who think that they know where they're going, and all of a sudden the rug's taken out from under them and they have no idea, and how exactly you pick yourself back up. And I think any adult has been through that in one way or another, so it's impossible not to kind of watch it and go, yes, I recognise that.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to look at this clip right now, which is when Dan and Greta meet for the first time.